A great way to release any tension in the throat chakra, Vishuddha chakra, are to take neck stretches and head rolls. We'll draw the right ear over to the right side shoulder and let your left shoulder be heavy. Tilt your chin diagonally down towards the right shoulder and maintain space here for an apple between chin and chest. Take your chin diagonally up, and you'll feel an opening in the front of your throat. Draw your left ear over to the left side shoulder and let your right shoulder be heavy. Tilt your chin diagonally down to the left shoulder, once again maintaining space here for an apple between chin and chest. You can feel the back of the neck is opening here. Tilt your chin diagonally up without dropping your crown, and feel the spaciousness that's occurring in the front of the throat. Let's go ahead and draw some circles with the chin, moving up towards 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, down to 6 o'clock, and over to 9 o'clock. Feel free to close the eyes as you take these head rolls, moving at your own pace. You can always linger a little bit longer in any places that feel like they need a little bit more love. And let's go the opposite way. Draw your chin back towards your chest, and let's move into some cat-cows. Draw your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Broaden across your chest and collarbone. Let your face look up on the inhalation. Exhale, draw the tops of the toes down onto the mat, rounding the spine and feeling a subtle lift of the pelvic floor. Inhale. Lift the heart and visualize a line of energy from the crown moving down the spine. Exhale and feel that light charge and transform to every cell of your body. Let's take that 2 more times. To come into fish pose, we'll lay our bodies down, and from here, walk your inner ankles towards each other. Press your triceps into the ground and let your fingertips reach up. Lift the heart and the rib cage and let the back of your crown touch the earth. You can press your hands alongside you and work the shoulder blades in. As your crown presses down, you can lift your legs or lift the arms for a more advanced variation. Come into Halasana or Plough Pose. You'll need a blanket. This helps us to relieve any pressure that might be experienced on the cervical spine. You'll take your blanket and place it right to the top of your shoulders, so that way your crown and your neck are evenly supported. First, bring your knees to your chest and press down in your triceps as you lift your seat up and overhead. If possible, you'll interlace your fingers behind the small of your back, rolling the shoulder blades in, and you'll notice that the back of my neck is long. I will continue to walk my toes towards the crown of my head as I clasp my palms and use my triceps and the back of my crown to press into the mat. Ear pressure pose is another name And we can release the ear pressure by bending the knees. This variation can often feel very good for most of us that have any spinal or anatomical issues. Again, be aware of where you can handle and feel free to skip any of these postures. Reverse table, known as 𝗕𝗵𝗸𝗶𝗀𝗃, sliding the hands back, lifting the hips up, and feeling a subtle lift of the pelvic floor. Be mindful not to drop your head back and keep your 𝗔𝗿𝘁𝗀 slightly in front of you. To get into camel pose, I highly recommend using a blanket underneath the knees as well as a bolster. Now, there are a few different ways that we can get into camel pose. And if you have any knee sensitivity, as I said, I highly recommend placing a blanket underneath your knees. Another way is to roll the blanket, and if you have any instep sensitivity, you can place your insteps on top of the blanket as well. To get into camel pose, one way is to come up onto your knees, tuck your toes underneath you, and sit back onto your heels. Place your palms on your heels and work your shoulder blades in towards each other. Now, instead of sticking the rib cage out, you'll draw the rib cage in and feel an invisible line lifting your heart up towards the sky. From here, one option is to use a bolster to reach the arms back towards your bolster. Feel a subtle lift of your heart, working the shoulder blades in. Keep your 𝗔𝗿𝘁𝗶, that means your gaze, slightly in front of you so your head is not dropping backwards and collapsing onto the cervical spine. Resist the urge to press the hips forward and instead keep feeling a subtle lift through the heart. Another way to get into camel pose without props is to place your palms on top of your heels and work your shoulder blades in towards each other. As you do this, feel a subtle lift through the heart and feel that line of energy lifting you up towards the sky without collapsing into the low back. The hips will naturally start to move forward if you focus on lifting the heart up towards the sky. Keep breathing in through the spaciousness and feel a subtle lift moving from the midline of the belly all the way through the crown. To get out of this shape, you can draw the navel in and follow the natural S curve of your lower lumbar, coming to a seat on top of the heels or on top of your instep. To come into Bhujangasana or Cobra Pose, draw the shoulder blades back, press the tops of the toes into the mat, and lift the heart. You can press down into the tops of the feet and lift the hands and the feet off of the earth as well. To come into full cobra, widen your feet as wide as the mat. Take your hands off of the mat and let your fingertips prop up. You'll pull your chest forward almost as if you're bowing your spine. Keep drawing the shoulder blades back, lifting your heart and feeling the skin of the belly move all the way through the top of the throat.